Welcome to another episode of the Need for Speed Most Wanted Mod Showcase, and in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at 3 different kind of concept cars to give it a bit of a concept special, starting with a Beamer that it would have been really cool to see if made into an actual car, if it had been done so back in the day. This is the BMW Italdesign Nazca C2. The Italdesign comes from the fact that it was made by the Italdesign, design team. Hence why it has the Italdesign name. You may remember this best from either Need for Speed 2 Special Edition on the PC or Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit over on the PlayStation 1. Regardless of which, someone went through the efforts to actually put this car into the game, make it look all pretty, and, well, we're going to be driving it today. I've already gone ahead and painted it. This car replaces the, I believe it's the Mitsubishi Eclipse GT. There's one body option which gives it like a bit of a thing there, which I'm going to put on because it looks just a lot more. It looks better that way. And you can't put any of these on. Rims you can, obviously. Spoilers you can't. Hoods you can't. But roof scoops you can. And my head is just screaming internally because of the fact that it's going over a glass roof like that. Yeah, and you get the rest for the rest. Anyways, so that's how the car is set up. Of course, we've already got all the parts on it as we go take it over to Petersburg. Now, if you are new to the series, what I do is I take every car mod that I'm requested, I give it 3 flying laps around the Petersburg track to make them go as fast as possible. And the fastest lap time I gets put onto a leaderboard to compare with other car mods. Now, the Nazca here is a bit of an interesting one. It's one of the very few car mods I've had which actually has custom sounds. So what I'm getting at here is it doesn't sound that different from the Eclipse, but I can, there's some slight differences. I guess but I wouldn't know. I'd have to put the original sounds on and then listen to a tuned Eclipse to find out. But nevertheless. So this is a very interesting one. This car has a very strange handling characteristic. It's actually very grippy, very, very quick to get around corners, but if you hold it for too long, it starts to drift. It starts to get sliding, so which gives me the feeling that the person who modded this, who gave it its performance, wanted to make it so that the car, could kind of not do that, specifically more, just kind of get it around corners and just give it a bit of a slide. Now that's fine and all, but if you're gonna make it like this easy to start sliding, I'm gonna just adjust my mic real quickly. If you're gonna make it that easy, then I think you're kind of looking in the wrong field, because I'm someone who does these cars in terms of actually seeing how fast I can get a time out of it. Doing it like this is not really the way to do it. It's so basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of either constantly slightly flick it so I'm not holding it, or just go light on the steering so it doesn't get into a slide. It's the best thing I can do to keep the car moving. And to be fair, once you actually do get it moving, it is actually generally not pretty quick. So you get over 215 here, so it's not a bad car in terms of top end and gripping. You just got to be careful with it. But we still managed like a 55.8, which is all right, it's pretty good. I just wish this thing wasn't constantly trying to tail slide, but it looks like it was designed to do so. Cause look at that. Do you see how easy it is? It's like, honestly, I just wish, all I wish was that the car, it had the same kind of gripping ability, but not to the point where it's just going into a tailspin like that. Like, it almost feels like it wants to hydroplane too. Like, I'll try to keep the thing, going as straight as I can, and then, or try to correct a slide, and then it'll give me the feeling that it just wants to hydroplane. But yeah, this is honestly the strangest handling car I've ever had in any mod, and honestly, I don't really like it. I would prefer if the thing was just grippy and responsive. It didn't really have all this drifting characteristics. I just wish it was stable, but apparently the modder wanted it to do a bit of a wanted the car to have a bit of a show going around the track. Well, I wouldn't say going around this track, because this was made like a year before I started actually making these videos. So you know. But you can basically just kind of see where all the hassle comes from, just trying so desperately hard to, you know, keep this thing from getting into a complete ruckus. Just trying to constantly kind of, I'll flick it one direction and try to turn it the other way real quick so it doesn't start, you know, sliding like a mat like crazy. Yeah, you could just see it there. It's just so easy. If it didn't have that, I probably could be getting some faster times out of it, but it looks like for now the 55.8 is the best I'm going to be able to do with it. So this is a car that I'm honestly fairly inconsistent with, but when you see how it handles, you probably wouldn't be surprised by that. Anyways, the next car we have up for grabs is a car up for show. Excuse me, is a car mod that kind of scares me in the fact that at the time of recording this mod was put on the NFS Mania site on April 10th, 2007, and at the time I'm recording this, it's April 13th, 2017. So we're now looking at a car mod that's 10 years old. And like 3 extra days. That frightens me, because where has all the time gone? But this is an Audi RSQ, which is a very funky looking futuristic car with with a bunch of like Audi R8 designs. This was just meant to show what I guess Audi could do at the time. It was actually used for movie purposes. It was actually in the 2003 film I Am Robot, if I remember correctly. Or iRobot, not I Am Robot, iRobot, or something like that. It has Will Smith in it, and he drove one of these because it's set in the future. But yeah, again, you can't really do a whole lot. You can paint it, and you can put spoilers because most mods can, and you can of course put wheels, but there's not really much of a point to it because you're not really going to be able to see it, so you're kind of just wasting your time there. You can also put roof scoops though, because God hates us all. No, you could also put roof scoops because there's a lot of people who like those, and I'm just someone who really doesn't like those. And I understand, I like them on a race car, like in most cases, because it's understandable why they're there. But on most road cars, not. I will give the person credit. Whilst this does replace the Mercedes-Benz SL500, which, you know, in considering how old the mod is, that doesn't give exactly a very good sign. I'll give the person credit for at least changing the sound. It sounds like the that A4, which always had an interesting sound to me. And yeah, I'm kind of seeing it very early on already. This thing is not exactly going to be set in a blaze and anything. It's just, its handling is very average. Its edge and its top end is meh. Doesn't exactly accelerate that quick. Pretty much we're probably going to be seeing this car do around the times that the car that it replaces the SL500 would have done, I would imagine, but we'll find out for sure. And I'm just going to do that now to get that out of the way. So just get those gone within the first lap, and you never have to worry about them again because they don't respawn. Oh Jesus, just trying to get this around is not particularly the most fun thing to do, but you just kind of have to do it. Just gotta cut through there a bit just so I can get myself a better line, and I'm still going a little bit wide despite it. Damn. Yep, understeer, at least compared to some other cars. I mean, again, it's not the worst. It actually does still have some handling ability, but it's not really that amazing. It's kind of slow and it's just mostly just, you know, slow and sluggish, so you know, I just gotta have to keep trying here and hopefully get the most out of it I can with this car. So Just kind of hug that a little bit. Maybe that might help shave off a little bit of time. I don't expect it to be much. I mean, I can only just get this thing going to 200 miles an hour. Apparently this car also has 7 gears. Not that this track's really long enough to be able to see that, to be honest, so... You know. Anyways. Just quickly just get around. Oh boy. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. No, we managed to avoid hitting the wall. Just keep it under control. Yeah, that one I didn't even mean to do. Ooh, that was... Yeah, that was sloppy. That was a mess of a one right there. Ah, well. Ah, damn it. That had to be there. Just get everything just gets in the way sometimes. Yeah, and there you go. You see, just right there, 7 gears. Again, not that you'd really be able to use it much, because the track's not really long enough to really inherit the use of this car's 7th gear. Ooh, there we go. That was actually very well done through there. I actually just let off a little bit, and it was just got the line down perfectly. That was disaster, though. That line was just... I went in way too early, hugged it way too early, and yeah, it came out looking bad. And again, I should have hugged that a little better. So now this is where I just try to, you know, get this moving as fast as I can. At least this time I don't have to worry about that being in the way, because it's out of the way. I should probably just get rid of that each time on the first lap, just so as many obstructions are gone as possible. Oh, well, anyways, despite that, that felt like the best lap, and it was 1:91. Probably if I didn't hit the wall, I could have probably knocked it down to a low 1 minute, maybe even sub 1 minute if I'm really lucky. But yeah, it's kind of exactly where the RSQ I felt was going to land, because it's sluggish, and yeah, it just drives like an SL 500, to be honest. Although admittedly a little bit worse. Anyways, our final car up for today is a very interesting one. It's a concept closed cockpit Formula 1 that McLaren made in 2016 called the MP4-X. I guess this would to them this would probably be their idea of maybe what Formula 1 cars would be in the future. I personally love closed cockpit cars anyways, so I would love to see that kind of become the norm, but I can understand why some would prefer open cockpit. Now, this is going to be an interesting one, because the last time I had one of these McLaren MP4 Formula vehicles around this track, it went to the top of the leaderboard, where it's remained ever since. It's been so far and away the longest car to ever stay at #1 on the leaderboard, with its 38 point whatever I can't remember now. But you get the idea. The MP4-29 has been completely untouched. Nothing has come close to it. Well, actually, to be fair, there hasn't been a few things that have come close, but what I mean is nothing's beaten it. Now, do I expect this car to beat it? Probably not, because to be fair, the MP4-29 was a car that had so much speed that like unrealistic speed that it kind of just is why it made it so quick. Of course, as you're going to see, though, this is still going to be a very quick vehicle, because it kind of handles like a Formula 1 car almost would. It's really grippy and really responsive, so... But yeah, as you can see, the car does not have anywhere near the same top end. And honestly, because this thing handles so well, I don't even have to get rid of those obstructions, because the way this car grips, I'm never gonna have to worry about it. So yeah, we're still gonna get a very fast lap time with the MP4-X, but it's not anywhere near the same kind of top end as the MP4-29 mod. So really, it'll still rank very high, but it's not going to be top of the board, just simply because, you know, this has a more constrained, more probably what you would have expected top speed. I also can't really do too much of the performance of this car. I mean, again, as you can see, it doesn't not like it really matters. But the reason I say that, I was only able to put some Junkman parts on, no turbo thing in that, or technically, I guess, supercharger in this case. The reason for it, it replaces the Chevrolet Camaro. And I was curious to see what the top end of this car would be, so and there's my answer, apparently. Oh god, what was that? There was like a huge, like, sudden bump. That was, something. Anyways, though. But, so at least, so if we can at least keep this car going around and prevent it from hitting anything. I'm surprised I even managed to hit those on that last lap. I'm surprised. I didn't think I was going to do that, but I did. Hey. So maybe I'm full of shit and that I should be getting rid of them anyways, regardless of the car. And someone's pinging me. That's always quote-unquote fun. Thankfully, this time I'm nearly done with the episode of recording this bit already, so they're not going to have to particularly wait very long. So yeah, alright. Here's hoping that we can get, you know, the fastest time of bunch. This car doesn't exactly like that jump. I noticed the amount of speed it drops there is a bit notable, to say the least. Just got to be careful here. And when I say careful, it's just because, I mean, like, I don't want to, you know, keep gripping the car so much that, you know, it becomes, like, impossible to... no, not possible. I'm saying that I end up crashing into a wall just because I'm giving it too much handling. But yeah, this is definitely going to be the best lap, I can tell. And yeah, you can see it. It's still very fast, but not MP4-29, just because it doesn't have that same kind of top end. But we finished with a 45.55, which is incredibly quick. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of exactly what I would have expected out of the car. It handles like a Formula 1 car and kind of goes like a Formula 1 car. The MP4-29 handled like a Formula 1 car, but it went like a rocket ship, not a Formula 1 car. So this is a lot more like it, and so I would definitely go with this over the MP4-29, just because its speed is a lot more kind of my thing. Because the MP4-29, while it's a lot of fun to drive, that thing is just ridiculous. This is more like it though. Anyways, over onto the leaderboard now. And so now we go over onto the leaderboard, and the fastest car of the day, of course. In 8th place is the McLaren MP4-X with its 45.55 second lap time. As you can see, it's the only car within the top 10, of course, that replaces the Chevrolet Camaro. And of course, well, I kind of didn't really mention the name because, well, you probably wouldn't be surprised that, of course, GameWith71 requested the MP4-X, largely because he was curious to see how it would compare to the MP4-29. So there you go. In terms of what it beats out, Lawnmower, Proton Satchia, which is finally down to the top 10, at least, or the bottom of the top 10. Sonic Speedstar, Enzo, MIG U1, just a little bit back on the 787B, and about over a second back on the Mines Nissan Skyline. That thing is still, that Skyline though is still ridiculous. It's still a really silly top 10 when you look at it, but hey, at least with more cars, and you know, now like the MP4-X and the 787B, and even to be fair, the La Nina and the MP4-29, at least it starts to look a little bit more, you know, kind of what you probably would have expected, but there's still some very weird ones in there. Quite a bit way down into 93rd place is the BMW Italdesign Nazca C2 with its 55.85 second lap time. Kind of sandwiches itself just below the Golf and just ahead of the Corvette. So it's like, you know, 300ths below the Golf and 300ths ahead of the Corvette. So, hey. C6R Corvette, by the way. Also, just a bit off on the 944 Turbo, Viper Elite, Cobalt SS, Batmobile, Ford GT, and Ford GT90, but it does edge out of course, the Corvette, as I mentioned, the SSC Twatzer, the Porsche came in as the 918 Spider Weissig package, 5-liter 1990 Ford Mustang, Chrysler MP4-12, and 911 Carrera S. And finally, all the way down into 180th place is the Audi RSQ, with a time of 1 minute point 91. Also, the Italdesign Nazca was requested by 04567, before I forget. The RSQ is, of course, 1 minute point 91. Puts it just 1/100th off of the McLaren Sterling Moss, and then just a bit off the El Camino 300ZX Twin Turbo 575M CRX and Honda S2000. But it does beat out the 67 Shelby GT500, ThirteenAG Chef in Negrali, Silvia D-Max, Ascari A10, and BMW 320 Turbo Group 5. Because then, of course, after that, we just get a lot of disappointing or just naturally slow vehicles. So, and yeah, just to show it, we've now hit 200 different cars that have driven around the track. 200. And I still have, counting on the request list, 224 to go. So it never ends, this series. It's just the thing that keeps going and going and going. And if you don't believe me, if you've never actually seen it, I'll show it off real quick. These are the list of cars, and I'm going to be taking these ones out, of course, because they've already been going. These are the list of cars that I still have to go through. There's a lot that is going on with this series, which is why I apologize if it's been taking me so long to get your requests. I just kind of tend to choose from random, so, and you can just see how many there is. So it's not something I'm purposely doing to kind of, you know, make anyone have to purposely wait or nothing. It's just you can see just how many of them there are. But so I hope you guys understand. Hopefully, again, if you want to check out the whole request list, it's in the description. Just you click the tab next to the one for the leaderboard, and you can just find them all there. So anyways, though, that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. If you want to check out some of my other links, like my Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, or Discord, or forum board, they're all in the description down there as well. So thank you guys, and of course, if you want to request another car, leave it down below in the comments. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, take care.